creatures of the world. Welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a beautiful day in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border in the crown of Maine. And I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. We're having a bit of snow today. I don't think it's going to accumulate. It's just as the temperatures drop, we're about 32 degrees right now. It's just going to make everything slick as shit out there. So if you're driving around, please be careful. I've seen what you guys have been doing today, going by my house 70 miles an hour in a 40. Passing each other, beeping impatiently at each other. I saw all that earlier today. This is a freshener coat. So if you got a snowmobile for Christmas, maybe you got some skis, or like me, you got a pair of snowshoes, still ain't going to be using them after today. I'm telling you, it's just the wackiest weather I've ever experienced in the county. We've lived here 16 years, and this is the craziest, wildest winter we have ever had. We've had spring-like temperatures the past few days, which means everybody's been in a great mood because they're out and about and they're not freezing. Usually at this time of year, we're about anywhere between 5 degrees and minus 20. And it just gets progressively colder as January wears on. And in mid-February, we get a cold snap 1 week where we get minus 35, minus 45. Last year, minus 63 degrees, which was not fun. Extreme farming happens. And then 2 weeks after that, in the beginning of March, things warm up. And we're outside in our deck chairs with snow piles everywhere and have our shorts on and our tank tops on. And we are getting a nice base tan. And that's just how it goes when you live in the far north where the cold hurts your face. But we've had a couple days of spring. And the chickens have decided to turn their eggers back on. It's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. Mother Nature done lost her mind. She went on vacation. She had a few too many margaritas. And she better get back to restore the balance of nature. If you don't know anything about chickens, here's a lesson, Chicken 101. You do not need roosters for your hens to lay eggs. Your hens' eggs are all inside of them. And if you want to make chicklets, which we often do here on the homestead, we do it the all-natural way. We don't incubate. We actually use the mamas. And they hatch the eggs. They care for the chicks. And that's how we rock and roll around here. But if you just want eggs, all you got to do is get hens. And you have eggs because they're all built into your chicken. Now, we have chickens that lay about 250 to 310 eggs a year. We've got Olive Vegas, Isa Browns, Rhode Island Reds. We've got Brahmas. We've got Orpingtons. We've got Americanas. So we get a lot of eggs. And the eggs help support their feed and their hay and all that good stuff from us selling the eggs. We keep some, we sell some, and the flock basically pays for its existence. Now, there is a cycle to life. There's a cycle, a rhythm to nature. There's a balance. And when that balance gets off, if you own a farm, you know what I'm talking about. When it unbalances itself, you know that you're going to pay for it one way or another. So my hens started laying eggs again, and they're going to have to shut it off. We haven't even got into the glassed eggs that I did at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. Every year around this time, we start getting into my egg storage. I glass eggs about mid-August to the second week of October. I do quite a bit of egg glassing. I glass enough eggs to give to the kids and their kids. And, you know, everybody likes the farm fresh eggs. And that's how we do it around here. And usually we're starting to crack into that. And we're starting to count the weeks until spring, until the chickens will get up their energy and start giving eggs in a prolific fashion again. But it's happening now, and it's the wrong time of year to happen. And I think that one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to shut their eggers down again, and I'm not going to get eggs for much of the spring, or it's going to be on the back end, and they're going to shut themselves off at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. So I think that next year, well, this summer, I'm going to have to glass eggs about July to ensure that we get enough to get through next winter. It's crazy. 2024 started off wild, didn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I took a few days off. The first few days of the new year, I decided I was going to work on wool spinning and dyeing some fiber and getting things ready to stock up my Etsy and my eBay. And I just needed the first few days were for myself. I also like to recalibrate myself at the beginning of the new year. Take note that it's getting later longer up here in the far north of Maine. We had sunlight, this milky white stuff. If you are a blind viewer on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, or Amazon Music, you cannot see the film, the video. It's just white light. Our sky is so steely gray that if you want to see the sun in the wintertime up here, you have to look for the big white circle in the sky, and then you know it's the sun. We don't get that a lot of days where it's that bright, yellow, warm sunshine. It's just we're too far north for that. We got that when I was in Rhode Island. When we lived in Rhode Island, we had more warm days in the winter, more green grass days in the winter than anything. But up here, it's a little bit different. Life is different in the far north. It sure is. Life is so different that we've learned in all the years that we've lived in Maine for about 25, 26 years all total. We've learned how to prepare ourselves, prepare for the worst, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what we do up here because you never know. Like right now, we got a squall going on out there. It's amazing. It was light snow all day and now we got a snow squall coming in. It's just, that's the way it works. And that's why we prepare. While I was doing my spinning and my fiber dyeing, I was listening to a lot of the big homestead channels and the big survival channels, the big prep channels. And they're all pretty much screaming the same thing, that things are falling apart, which we all know because we all have eyes and we can all see, and that it's too late. And it's going to be a wild year. And if you haven't done this, you're screwed. And if you haven't done that, you're screwed. There's no hope for you. And you're not going to see fear headlines here. Now, we've always been preppers because weather. We've lived in Maine most of our lives. And it's always good to have extra food on hand just in case. Because you never know what's going to kick up. Whether it's a wild windstorm that knocks out all the power downtown and nobody has generators, so they're not running their businesses, to winter storm. Something that starts out really benign with fluffy snowflakes to make you feel like you're in a snow globe for a little while, turns into a snow squall, and then here you are. And then next thing you know, it's a blizzard. And you can't get to the store. We learned living this far up north, many, many years, we had to go to friends' houses and dig them out. I mean, literally dig them out of their house. When they opened their door, there was snow straight up to the roof. They couldn't get out. And you'd have to dig them out from the road to their door and make that little wall, that corridor of snow for them. It's absolutely crazy sometimes up here. So if you have enough food, things like that don't panic you. I also know that there are a lot of people that are just waking up. We're not a channel that does fear, but we're also not a channel that buys in so heavily on ideology. We focus on people. We focus on kindness. We focus on empathy. We focus on compassion. And I have made a slight note that the bigger channels that I do watch, they're like, hey, I'm glad you woke up, but it's too late. It's not too late. It's not too late to stock your pantry. I think what's coming in 2024 is more financial turmoil. I mean, you can see what's going on in the world. There's all that. It's a political year, so we're going to have a lot of angst. We're going to have a lot of high-strung people. We're going to have a lot of bitterness because of ideologies. People can't see past their political beliefs anymore. People can't look at another human being and see a human if they know that that person does not believe the same thing that they believe. This channel, when we started it over a year ago, it was to build culture. It was to be there for people who we knew were going to be in need, but did not see readily that they were going to be in need. Many times, people have called me a conspiracy theorist. That's okay. Many times, my family has made fun of me for many years. I mean, I've been telling people for 15, 17 years now, you know, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And in 2008, I was telling everybody, get food in your house and make sure that, you know, you have enough food, you have a little bit of cash on you in case something else happens, because it was a big financial disaster in 2008. And it ruined a lot of people, and it took away a lot of jobs, and people suddenly found themselves unexpectedly on the unemployment line, and there was a waiting period before they got their money. So between the job ending and the waiting period to get their unemployment checks, you know, people had hardships. And I just feel, I absolutely feel that whether you started preparing for the worst, still hoping for the best, whether you started doing that or not, there is plenty of time, and that people should not just throw in the towel and give up. I think that one of the best things that you can do is when you go to the store, if you need a can of corn, buy 2. Because 1 really is none. You bring it home, you use it, it's gone. Buy 1, put 1 away. And you will build a pantry of things that you like. And that really is the key when you build a pantry, is getting food that you like. Don't just grab any old thing. If you don't eat beets, while they're very good for you and you're going to need them nutritionally, don't buy them. Buy the corn, buy the beans, buy the things your family eats. And when you can, buy the extra. Last year we did the 5-can challenge here on this channel. And I think we need to go back to that. The 5-can challenge is really very simple. You are going to buy 5 extra cans of something that you eat to put away on your food pantry shelf. You're not going to touch it, just 5 cans. And if you do this once a week and you buy 5 extra cans, you know, if you're talking vegetables, you're talking 75 cents a can. So you're talking, what, $5, just under $5 a week in your pantry? Stop going to the Dunkin' Donuts. Stop going to the Starbucks. Stop going to Tim Hortons. You can do that for a few days to get that $5. It's 2 days exactly, because coffee, when you go out, is $3 and change. So for 2 days a week, do not get the coffee. Take that $5, go to the market and buy 5 extra cans of whatever your family likes to eat. Chef Boyardee, great. Get some extra vegetables. Grab some rice. Grab the bigger rice. Don't grab the little, 1 pound bag of rice. Grab the 3 pound, the 5 pound, the 50 pound if you want. You can get there. Don't let anybody who has been prepping for a long time discourage you from getting prepared. Don't let them discourage you from building a pantry, because there's going to be a lot going on in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. We saw what happened in 2020. Did we not? We saw what happened 2019 into 2020 into 2021. With the craziness and the locking down and all this nonsense going on, we saw it. We saw the last presidential election get really cuckoo. People who are in the streets, people are in the streets now. People are in the streets over a foreign country that they've never been to. And they're protesting. And they're blocking highways. They are getting into neighborhoods. They are wreaking havoc. And it's not on mainstream media. Not a lot of it is on mainstream media. Just the talking points they want you to know about. So I think that, we need to get prepared. Write it out just in case. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, try buying 5 cans of something your family likes to eat and put it away and start this paycheck. It's not a hard thing to do. Your family will thank you for it. It is never too late to get ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.